This was a direct quote made to me in 1991 from the legendary Van Halen frontman David Lee Roth. Van Halen is an American rock band, and Rockline is a interview program that interviews musical artists and allows listeners to call in with their questions. In 1991, David Lee Roth was the former singer of Van Halen, and he is currently the lead singer of Van Halen. And for some of us, he is considered to be the only singer of Van Halen. Being a fan and following the career of David Lee Roth has encompassed my life since I was 11 years old. I have seen him in concert over 20 times in Oklahoma and every state that borders except for Missouri and Colorado. Besides speaking with him on Rockline in 1999, I had the opportunity to meet David Lee Roth. I have a great admiration for not just the music of David Lee Roth, but also his lifestyle. And you don't have to be familiar with David Lee Roth, Van Halen, or their music to have an understanding of admiration and passion. Admiration and passion can come in many forms, whether it is for something such as collecting stamps, cars, lighters, or someone, a politician, an actor, an activist, or something that you do yourself, such as running, a musician, animal rescue, or building homes for Habitat with Humanity. Whatever it is that gives you that oomph, that peace, that sense of drive, even when things get chaotic. Everyone hopefully has what I refer to as a drug of choice. And for me, my drug of choice is David Lee Roth. Over the years, I have acquired quite a bit of David Lee Roth memorabilia, mostly from friends, including an autographed CD from the Rockline interview, a movie-sized poster from France, a bootleg video from Oklahoma City, a CD from a show in the 70s from the Oklahoma Fairgrounds Speedway, the autographed Dave t-shirt that I was wearing when I met him, and also his initials DLR tattooed on my ankle. So I just will always have a small tribute to him with me for always. Besides the tangible items that I have accumulated, I have also gathered experiences and stories. One time I met a girl named Jamie who had told me about her encounter with David Lee Roth outside of a grocery store in California. She didn't believe that it was him, so she asked to see his ID, and he showed her his driver's license. Van Halen also has a song called Jamie's Crying, and I asked Jamie, well, did he make you cry? And she said no, and I told her, well, when you retell this story, I think you should tell people he made you cry. During a 12-hour bus ride to Albuquerque, New Mexico to see David Lee Roth, I struck up a conversation with a bus driver returning to his hub. He offered to give me a ride to the venue, and on the way there stopped at Walgreens. When we got to the venue, he asked if he could take a picture of my tattoo, and I was wearing capris and told him sure. In the blink of an eye, he threw down carpet squares that he claimed would make a good background for the picture and asked me to slip my shoes off. And threw flowers at my feet, and now my friends believe that my feet are somewhere on a foot fetish website. When I finally did get the opportunity to meet David Lee Roth in 1999 in Wichita, I was just talking to some random Roth head outside the venue. He wandered away, and when he came back, he looked very disillusioned, like he'd been abducted by aliens, and I asked him if he was okay. And all he could say was, he's back there, I met him, and I knew exactly who he was talking about. So I too walked behind the venue and saw a guy wearing a hat and a jacket with his hands in his pockets, walking around in circles, kicking at the ground as if he had lost something, like perhaps his keys. I knew exactly who it was, and so I walked up to him because I felt like I had known him all my life, and essentially I have. And I asked him if there was something that I could show him, and he said sure. And I showed him my tattoo. He turned to a guy standing in the shadows and told him, wow, we have ourselves a fan here. I later found out that that was his bodyguard, a Marine, whose work experience included security at Camp David, and I believe we have a fan here was code word for don't don't kill her. David Lee Roth asked if he could sign my shirt, and I said, sure. He knelt down in front of me, and when he did, I had an out-of-body experience. I witnessed the entire thing hovering above us, including when he leaned in to kiss me on the cheek. I thought he was leaning in to whisper the secret of the universe to me. He had just had a shower, and the back of his hair was damp. His coat had a leather collar, and just the smell of leather and soap was just the most comforting scent in the world, and it was just so bizarre. Allowing David Lee Roth to become a significant and important part of my life has brought me a great deal of joy, adventure, and excitement. I feel a sense of pride when people who don't even know me refer to me as the DLR tag girl, even when they don't know what DLR stands for. My friends often refer to me as a different kind of crazy. David Lee Roth wrote a book called Crazy from the Heat, where he talks about having to wear braces as a young child. I just believe that he learned at an early age that you have to learn to be true to yourself and not worry too much about what other people think. He exudes a lot of wit and wisdom, and his comments are often referred to as Rothisms. And I would like to leave one with you that pretty much sums up what it feels like to be a fan. There's a little bit of Van Halen in all of us, and we're just trying to bring it out. It's like something bursts inside of you, something that makes you not care about what people around you are thinking. It makes you invincible. Like if a car hit you, nothing would happen to you. That experience is about the audience, not us. All we do is provide the soundtrack. David Lee Roth.